The following announcement has been paid for by
the ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you feel
Sport.
that excitement?
And also,
Wearing the merchandise, wearing the hats.
Is what I'm seeing for real?
While here live from Lincoln Financial.
I can't wait till this video's over so I can say its name anymore.
Music.
Wow.
Man, again, and I hate to do this again, but these are goofy.
What the hell? What is that? Whoa! What the hell?
And more.
What's his next book gonna be called? Got you cocksucker! I did not see that coming.
Hey, yo, we are back in Studios 4133 of the ENN Podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wilde, and I said one thing coming into the 2025 season, and that was I was not going to fight for my quarterback anymore. I mean, through all the years, whether it was Carson Wentz, Donovan McNabb, Nick Foles, didn't matter. I always kind of had to fight with my friends or with my peers about my quarterback. And coming into this season, I'm like, I've got a Super Bowl winning quarterback that won the Super Bowl MVP. There's no doubt that he's going to get his flowers, that he's going to get his respect now. And he didn't. And I'm talking about Jalen Hurts, number one, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. A guy that has been universally, I'm talking locally and nationally, disrespected time and time and time and time again. And here we are. And you know what? It didn't bother me that he wasn't on the top 10 list of ESPN or whatever that fraud list was. I didn't care too much about that. I didn't care that a guy like Cam Newton, who decided to literally look at a football and watch the other team pick it up in a Super Bowl, one of the most embarrassing clips in Super Bowl history, says bad things about Jalen Hurts. I didn't too much care about that. But when I've got to turn on my local radio station, 94 WIP, and hear these guys screaming, literally heard a producer screaming to the top of his lungs that the defense won that Super Bowl and that they could have had Kenny Pickett in the game and still won. Or the fact that I listened yesterday to try to find out what was going on in training camp, the first day in training camp, and all I hear about is how Jalen Hurts wasn't wearing a Super Bowl ring, and does that mean he's not one of the guys? And hey, you think he wears it when he goes home? This went on for 15 minutes before I shut the station off. I'm just over it, and I'm tired of it. How much are we going to move the goalposts back? The first thing I hear when people talk about Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts doesn't win the Philadelphia Eagles football games. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got Devontae Smith. He's got Saquon Barkley. He's got the best offensive line in football. Dallas Goedert, talent all around him. Guys like Cam Newton saying this. Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Were his wide receivers as good as the Eagles? No. But the Eagles had 6 Pro Bowlers in last year's Super Bowl to Cam Newton's 9 when he went to the Super Bowl. I hear about, again, just the talent around Jalen. And I think about guys like Troy Aikman. I think about guys like Joe Montana. And before you guys hit that X button and click off, I am not saying that Jalen Hurts is Joe Montana or Troy Aikman. But what I'm saying is Jalen Hurts seems to be the only quarterback that we hold having a good team against. Aikman had Emmitt Smith, an awesome offensive line. He had Michael Irvin, one of the best wide receivers in the history of the game. Joe Montana with another great GOAT wide receiver and Jerry Rice, Roger Craig. I mean, but we don't talk about the talent around these guys. We just talk about what great quarterbacks they were. And when it comes to being a quarterback, what does that entail? What does being a good quarterback entail? Does it entail throwing a pretty deep ball? Does it entail throwing for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns? Because I'll tell you right now, if Jalen Hurts threw for 40 touchdowns and over 4,000 yards and didn't win the Super Bowl, I could care less. I could care less about that. Since when does winning games not matter? Why all of a sudden does it not matter? Is it because a guy that was picked in the second round that every analyst that you could listen to said that he's not a starter? Oh, that he's might as well switch positions, maybe try running back. He's not a good quarterback. I mean, is it because that he far exceeded, and made everyone look stupid over and over again, including last year when Saquon Barkley comes to the Eagles, has one of the best seasons ever for a running back, and they get to the playoffs, and all the analysts say, Well, what's going to happen when a guy like Steve Spagnuolo decides that he's going to take Saquon Barkley away from the Eagles? What's going to happen then? Because Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. He proved during the season he can't throw the ball. It's not going to happen. That's when it's going to cause the Eagles to lose against the Chiefs. Well, let me paint this picture for you. Yes, the Eagles defense was dominant and absolutely awesome, led by Zach Bond, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter. Top-notch, dominant defense. But when the offense had to put points on the board and Spagnuolo did what everyone said he was going to do and stop Saquon Barkley, who put the Eagles in the end zone, who threw the dagger to Devontae Smith, it was Jalen Hurts, who ran the ball on third downs, who converted fourth downs when he had to. It was Jalen Hurts. He just continues to do what everyone says that he can't, and it really pisses everybody in the national media off. And I get it. I can understand that. But the local media, I've never seen a local media hate their quarterback as much as the local media in Philadelphia does. And it's disgusting. And it's 94 WIP. I every time I try to give these guys a chance, because they're my childhood radio station. I listened to them when they were on the AM dial. Kids, look that up. I give them these chances and they consistently disappoint me. Whether it's, again, everyone saying that Jalen's just a product of the system, or it's yesterday during day one of training camp. I'm trying to find out what's going on. Here's some information about training camp. And when they have their guy, Elliott Shore-Parks, come on, all they talk about for the first 15 minutes is just Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl ring and the fact that he hasn't wore it. And do you think he wore it at home? Do you think he wore it on the toilet? And hey, since he didn't wear a Super Bowl ring at the party when everyone else did, does that make him look like a weirdo? Does that mean he's not one of the guys? Is that a bad leadership trait? I couldn't believe my ears. What are we talking about? When I was a kid and I was watching Donovan McNabb throw up in the Super Bowl, I would have done anything to have a quarterback who won that thing and then not wore his ring. But here we are, and this is what we're talking about. I'm gonna put up some random stats about Jalen Hurts, because I'm not a stat guy. I'm more a motion guy. I don't write stuff down. I don't use notes. Things that Jalen has done when he's thrown the ball over 30 times. His record when he's thrown the ball over 30 times. Since everybody's so obsessed with this. What a good quarterback does is they find a way to win. That's what they do. They find a way to win. And that's what Jalen Hurts does over and over and over again. And I'm going to say this. I think I'm going to leave it at that when I say this. A.J. Brown, definitely one of the top 3 wide receivers, has had his best years with the Eagles. Saquon Barkley was on a shitty Giants team, comes to the Eagles, is exponentially better. And I know it was one season. I get it. Everybody that comes to this team in this offense seems to be better. And the fact that we say that Jalen has absolutely nothing to do with that is almost criminally insane. But I kind of like the disrespect. It means that a Jalen Hurts that has to prove himself, a Jalen Hurts that's not getting glazed, a Jalen Hurts that looks up at the screen when everybody's picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, is a dangerous Jalen Hurts. It's the best Jalen Hurts. It's a Jalen Hurts that thrives. He thrives on the disrespect. And it's not just him. It's the entire team after winning the Super Bowl, the disrespect that I think they've gotten. And I could go on and on about that, which I'm not going to do. But this is setting up for a monster Jalen Hurts year, a monster Jalen Hurts year. I'm absolutely looking forward to how he shuts the critics up. And what are we going to use to push the goalposts back? Are we going to talk about that he had better shoes than the other guys? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Is his uniform fit better? He's got a better helmet. What are we going to do after he does it again? Because that's what I think he's going to do. Guys, thanks for listening. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, go Birds, and I'll see you later.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?